Leon S. Kennedy. You love him and I love him. He's one of my favorite gaming characters of all time. Obviously, with a franchise as big as Resident Evil, there are bound to be different iterations of this character. Even though that technically it is the same character with all the different writers working on the games and the movies, there are some differences in the characterization, and today I am here to determine which one is the best one. Okay, so we're starting strong with Resident Evil 2 Leon, right? I'm just gonna hold him for a second. Resident Evil 2 Leon is the one that, started it all. That's where it all began, in Resident Evil 2 in 1998. He was voiced by the voice actor Paul Haddad, who passed away a couple of years ago. I think it was like 2019. What is there to say about Resident Evil 2 Leon? It was, the first one. It didn't really have a personality back then. All he basically did was like scream Ada wait, and that was it. But he was okay. He was like a, the standard like good guy, the good action hero and stuff. Not really an action hero, but a good guy. That's who Leon was in Resident Evil 2. Because of that, I'm not sure. I'm thinking about B and C. I don't really think he was like as bad as to put him into C. I think B is okay. I think definitely B, because he was okay. He was not, he was okay. That's what I would say about him. Moving on to Resident Evil, that was Darkside Chronicles. Resident Evil Darkside Chronicles, it's a weird one because there was the whole like Krauser thing. That story about like the backstory of Leon and Krauser on the mission that was mentioned in Resident Evil 4. I think that Leon was okay, actually more than okay. I think he was good, I think he was great. He was voiced by Paul Mercier, which is the same guy who voiced him in Resident Evil 4, the original. Personally my favorite voice actor for Leon. But in like the retelling of Resident Evil 2, because that's also what the game has like the retelling of Resident Evil 2, he was not as good. I think they made him like too badass. I think they leaned too much into the Resident Evil 4 Leon, which is not who Leon in Resident Evil 2 is supposed to be. He had like a drastic character change and everything, like trauma and PTSD and all that stuff. So I do not really like that, but if I'm only looking at like the Krauser mission thing, I think he was really good. I think like that's easily maybe even an S, but I'm gonna put him into A because I think there are better variations. I might like backtrack on this, okay? Do not quote me on this. I may put him into S later. I'm gonna think about it. Okay, next one is Resident Evil Gaiden. Now this is actually not canon, okay? This takes place after Resident Evil 2, like supposedly. But it's not canon. It's like Leon meets Barry and they go on this mission to like a ship to find some little girl where there's a parasite that can shapeshift. And the game, actually, I made a video on the game on the channel. You can go and watch it. I'll probably link it somewhere. Not sure where. But yeah. He was okay, actually. He was like that felt like a natural progression from Resident Evil 2 to like the next game. Like he was pretty consistent with Resident Evil 2, which is crazy because which is crazy on one hand because this game is not even canon, but it's understandable on the other hand because Leon does not really have a personality in Resident Evil 2. What's interesting about this is that he's also like a secret agent or something. They work like for like a counter bioterrorist agency or something with Barry, which is strange because that's what actually would happen with Leon. So even though the game is not canon, I think the canon franchise actually took a lot of things from Gaiden that would later be reused, like for example the ship There's also B in Revelations. Leon being an agent, obviously that's something that would be in Resident Evil 4 and in every game that features Leon. And them looking for like a little girl, that was also be in Resident Evil Revelations 2 with Barry, and Barry's also in the game, so yeah, it's crazy. Gaiden was ahead of its time. The soundtrack was kinda ass though. So I'm gonna put Leon in B. Yeah, I'm gonna put him behind Resident Evil 2 Leon. Not that he's like so much worse or anything, it's just, I don't know, like I like Resident Evil 2 Leon more. That's basically it. But for a not canon game, this Leon was pretty okay. Now this looks like Resident Evil 2 Leon, which I'm pretty sure that's also what it is, which I'm not sure why would that be here. So what I'm gonna assume this is Leon from Resident Evil 1.5. And Resident Evil 1.5 is like a version of Resident Evil 2, which is like a beta version of it, which is like what the story was originally supposed to be. Claire is not even in the game. There is another character called Elsa Walker. So Claire is not in the game, but this Leon, he's I don't know, I think I'd put him here or like in C, because if Resident Evil 2 Leon does not have a personality, then that's twice as much the truth for this Leon, for 1.5 Leon. And yeah, so I think that's a C. Although I gotta say that this art style in which they did the like concept art, I really loved it. This looks really cool. Resident Evil 4 Leon, I'm not sure if I even have to say anything about this. This goes here. Greatest version of Leon, the one that everyone loves, okay? This was the Leon that, like, Resident Evil 4 is as good as it is thanks to Leon. Like, he has everything. Like, obviously there's like the whole like PTSD thing from Resident Evil 2. He like carries that like within him, but at the same time he's funny, he's charismatic, he has fun interactions with the enemies. It was perfect down to the last minute detail. I love Resident Evil 4 and I love Leon, so what else is there left to say? Resident Evil 6. Now Resident Evil 6, that's a game not many people really like. I kinda like it. I think it's fun when you like play it with friends and stuff. Like you might not like the gameplay and all, but story-wise I think it's one of the better Resident Evil games. Like I genuinely think like the story in like each individual Resident Evil game is usually not that great. I think the overall lore of it is like pretty interesting and all, but the story in individual games, the stories in individual games are not all usually that good. So, but Resident Evil 6 is actually like, it does interesting things with its characters. Again, it builds upon the aspect of Leon's personality, that's his like PTSD and the trauma from everything that he went through. But he keeps like, it keeps it consistent with Resident Evil 4 when he's like, you know, the funny guy. He makes jokes and he's charismatic and awkward and stuff. So I gotta put this in as like, because this is a great version of Leon. Even if you don't like Resident Evil 6, you gotta admit, like when it comes to like the character wise, like it's great. Like he's actually like a good character there. Also, I forgot to mention with Resident Evil 4 that he's dripped out, so like he has the like brown jacket which looks great. And even if when he loses it, he has the shirt that's like a combat shirt, which also looks really good. So yeah, he's dripped out, so that's plus points for him. Resident Evil Degeneration, which is like a movie that like ties into Resident Evil. It doesn't really tie to anything, but it takes place after Resident Evil 4, like sometime after Resident Evil 4. You can also see that Leon He's wearing pretty much the same shirt as he did in Resident Evil 4 in this movie, which, you know, I guess they really wanted to capitalize on the popularity of Resident Evil 4. This Leon, he's also voiced by Paul Mercier, which, you know, it also voiced him in Darkside Chronicles and Resident Evil 4. And I said that's my favorite voice actor for Leon, which is true. But I think in this movie he was pretty stale. Like, he did not, I don't know, like his performance in this could have been a lot better. I think he's a lot of times too unemotional, which I think they try to like tap into the stoic badass kind of characterization for him, which I don't think it really worked in this movie. Yeah, this I'm not sure if I'd put him in A. That's gonna have to be B, I think. He's not bad, okay? He's not as good as he was in like the above versions of him, so he's a B. I'm sorry, Degeneration Leon, you're just not as good. This is what's the game's name? Operation Raccoon City. This is a game where you play as Hunk and like his unit of like, this is like an alternate version retelling of Resident Evil 2, and also Resident Evil 3, I guess, because Nemesis is also in the game. It's not good. No one really liked the game ever, and I guess if we're judging by design, this would be the closest to Resident Evil Darkside Chronicles, which had good design, like the face and hair and everything. It looked good, but the story is like damn awful. Leon is not even the main character, you do not play as him. And pretty much the worst thing about this is you can fucking kill Leon at the end. Like, you can just like fucking shoot him in the head and he dies. Which is seems disrespectful. I do not like it. I just do not like it. He's also voiced by, I'm not really sure who voices Leon in this game, because it's not Paul Mercier and it's also not Matt Mercer who voices him in Resident Evil 6. What's important is that this version of Leon is really kind of bad, and not like in a good way. He kind of sucks. I'm gonna have to put him in D, I guess, because he's just not good. Resident Evil 2 Remake Leon. Now this version is voiced by Nick Apostolides. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And you know, he's okay. I mean, the voice actor, he's good. You know, I think he captured the Resident Evil 2 Leon very well. I really liked his performance. As a character, you know, I think he's a large improvement over the original Resident Evil 2 Leon, because now he actually has like a personality. You know, he has more interactions with Claire and Ada and everything. He's cool, you know. He also when you're shooting the zombies, he sometimes like talks to himself, and he's like, "You can do it." So I think like, you know, that's really like cute and stuff. What I do not like about this version of Leon, this is basically what spawned the whole Leon twing kind of meme, which is kind of cringe. I seriously, if you like find it funny, I think you need professional help. But other than that, you know, like regardless of the fan base and everything, this is a solid version of Leon. I really like it. I think there was like I think they did a lot of good things in the remake with him. And yeah, I'm gonna have to put it in A. And I'm not sure if I would put it over the like Darkside Chronicles Leon. Because, you know, he just is so good. But you know what? I'm kind of thinking about it. Yeah, I'm just gonna put him. Yeah, I'm gonna put him here for now. I might change my opinion later, but yeah, I said I would change my opinion later about something else too. I already forgot what it is. I think it was also Darkside Chronicles Leon. That doesn't matter. This is, I think this is from Umbrella Corps. Like there was like that online game that no one played and they shut down or something. I don't know. I think you can still buy it, but I don't think you can play it. Yeah, I never played that game. I think this is just like a skin or something. I never really played that game, so I can't really judge. He looks cool, like the design, he looks really cool, I gotta say. But because it's just a skin, and you know he does not really have a character there, and I don't know. If I was judging the design, that'd be like an S or an A, like honestly. But because it's about the character as a whole, I don't know, D, I guess. What's there? This is like a Resident Evil 2 Leon that's doing a funny face. I'm not sure what to do with this. A. Okay, yeah. Infinite Darkness. And this is straight up the worst canon version of Leon. I'm not even like joking or anything. This is the worst canon version of Leon. And the reason for that is, first of all, the design is like, it looks very generic. It doesn't really look good. Like when it comes to like the face and everything, it just looks generic. Like also the way he's like dressed in that movie, it's like he doesn't have the drip of Resident Evil 4 Leon, is what I'm trying to say. This takes place after Resident Evil Degeneration. Basically, Leon meets up with Claire again in that movie. Yeah, I do not. I don't like this version of Leon. The reason for that is also that I know there's this like one scene when like this guy is telling Leon what like he's been through and everything, and then Leon is like, you know, I've been through shit too. Raccoon City, 1998. This seems like such a bad version. This does not seem like something Leon would. Yeah, he does that in Resident Evil 4 with Louis, but because like, you know, they're talking, like Louis basically asks him about it. But here he just like it seems more like a, you know, I've been through more pain than you. Also in Resident Evil 6, it's like canon that Leon does not really talk about his Leon does not really talk about his past, which this sucks. Yeah, that's an E. I do not like this. Resident Evil 4 remake Leon. Yeah, this is easily an S. I do not like him as much as Resident Evil 4 the original, because you know, as I said before, like this Leon, he's more like, he's funnier. He has like the interactions with his with the enemies of the game. Here he does not really do that. He does not like have the Salazar interactions. He's also a lot more gloomy, which like, you know, the trauma and the PTSD aspect of his personality is a bit too much on the nose. So yeah, I like, he's not bad. He's great, okay? He's great. I love him. I love his jacket even more than I like in the original. So he's more dripped out than the original. But when it comes to personality and everything, the original just takes the cake, because he seems like a, you know, just a more fun person to be around. This sounds really bad. This sounds like, you know, like because this Leon has more like, you know, the trauma is more visible on him. He's, you know, annoying to be around, which is not true. But you know what I'm trying to say, okay? This Leon is just like more charismatic, like overall. What I'm gonna say though is that I like how this how the remake Leon at the end of the game, he basically rejected Ada. He told her that, you know, they're going their separate ways. You know, he said the thing. This Leon basically, I don't know, he was just still tricked by Ada, and then he like said, you know, she's a part of me that I can let go, which was kind of cringe. Yeah, this version, like, respect for, you know, letting Ada go at the end and like not saying like cringe shit about her. Dead by Daylight Leon. I'm just gonna put this here and I'm gonna elaborate on it further. First of all, just because of the mechanics of Dead by Daylight as a game, which, you know, obviously this version is not even canon. Because of the mechanics of the Dead by Daylight game, Leon cannot fight, he can only run away, which, you know, again does not really fit his character and everything. And what pisses me off the most about this character is the fucking moaning. You know, I know a lot of people like find it like funny, like he's whimpering, male whimpering, haha, twink Leon, which is why this has to go to E, because it's annoying. E is for annoying. Yeah, nothing more to say about this. Fortnite Leon. I'm gonna be honest with you real quick. The design is actually really good. I really like it. This, like, obviously it's in the Fortnite art style, but you know, it looks actually pretty good in that art style. Like he has like the eye bags, like a Resident Evil 4 remake Leon does. So design wise, it's really good. Obviously it's a Fortnite character, so he is not going to have too much of a personality. But he's already better than the Dead by Daylight Leon, so he has to go to C. I'm sorry, he's also better than these two. And the Infinite Darkness Leon, which is crazy. Rainbow Six Siege. Again, this is just a skin, not too much of a personality. I included this because he looks goofy. Like, he genuinely looks goofy. What were they doing, like, you know, designing this? It looks nothing like Leon. The hair is off, the face is off. This goes to E, but I guess it goes above Dead by Daylight Leon because, yeah, or does it? I don't know. You know what? They're the same. They're on the same level. I do not like either, but I dislike. I guess I dislike Dead by Daylight Leon for the reasons I mentioned before a bit more than I dislike Rainbow Six Siege. Damnation Leon. Now this might just be like my second or third favorite version of Leon. This goes here. I think I like the remake 4 version a bit more. This feels like such a natural progression from like Resident Evil 4, the original Leon, to this Leon. You know, he still has basically the same, you know, mannerisms and everything. He makes jokes. He helps people and everything. He also has like that one final scene between him and Buddy, when Buddy asks him to shoot him, to kill him, so he doesn't turn into a Las Plagas zombie. And Leon tells him that, you know, that he has to go on, he can't give up and everything, which is such a great scene. I love that scene. I love Damnation as a movie. Except for that one line about Leon and Ada, because it doesn't make sense, and it just like gives into the weird side of like the Resident Evil fandom. But other than that, everything about this movie is perfect. He's not as dripped out as the Resident Evil 4 Leon, which you know, it's a shame, but he's never going to be as dripped out as he was before. He's also voiced in this by Matt Mercer, who I mentioned before, who also voices Resident Evil 6 Leon and a bunch of other versions, I think. Yeah, great voice actor. He voiced Jotaro, he voiced Levi in Attack on Titan. And yeah, he does a great job. He's my second favorite voice actor for Leon. Great guy. Resident Evil Vendetta Leon. Again, Vendetta as a movie, it kind of sucks. It's not really a well-made movie. Yeah, but not that, like, you know, any Resident Evil movie is really all that good. Except for Damnation, greatest movie of all time. But Vendetta Leon, like the character, again, a great version of Leon. It feels like a natural progression from the Damnation, Resident Evil 6 and Resident Evil 4. Again, voiced by Matt Mercer. He has like the scene when he's, you know, drinking at a bar, like recounting everything that has happened to him. and they basically told him to stop crying like a little bitch, which made me feel sorry, like genuinely sorry for Leon. Like no one takes his like trauma and everything seriously. Design wise, he looks also really good. I really love his design. And yeah, like S tier, like nothing to say. I'm not sure if I would put him above 6 or behind. I think I'm gonna put him behind. I like Resident Evil 6 Leon a bit more, I guess. But yeah, Resident Evil Vendetta, great Leon, great, you know, character progression and everything. Moving on, Death Island. Now, Death Island is a movie that takes place a year after Vendetta, and it's a direct sequel to it. Like, it also has Chris and Rebecca, and like it has all the characters from like basically the Raccoon City trilogy saga or whatever, except for like Ada. And this version I don't really like as much, to be honest, because everything that made Resident Evil Vendetta Leon good is like basically stripped away. I like the scenes with Leon when he was like, you know, recounting his life. Here it just seems like, you know, he doesn't really have a personality yet again. Also, what I really I did this again. Also, what I really do not like about this Leon is they basically reused the model from Infinite Darkness, which is the worst canon version of Leon. So this is why I cannot put it in S, A, B, C. I guess it would be a C. I guess it would be a C. Not sure where to put him. He's not good. He's voiced by Matt Mercer, which, you know, is good. But I don't know. You know what? I'm just gonna I'm gonna put Fortnite Leon above these two. Fortnite Leon, I love him. He deserves it. You know what? I'm just joking. He's gonna be here though. Resident Evil Retribution was the movie called. Yeah, it's a live-action Resident Evil movies with Mila Jovovich. I hope I pronounced her name good. I'm not sure. They were not really good, as from like you might know if you have seen them or if you like heard anything about them. They're not really all that good. I think the very first one was like, you know, okay, like it was watchable. This was like the fifth one, and it was not good. The Leon in that movie, like, honestly, from like, you know, like the actor, he looks like an older version of Resident Evil 4 Leon, which is, you know, good. He also like had the jacket, you know, the shirt and everything. Character wise, he was not good. So design wise, like the costumes and everything, you know, they did the job. But character wise, yeah, he was pretty, like he was getting his ass beat a lot in the movie from what I remember. I haven't seen it in a while, like I watched it a long time ago, but yeah, he's definitely worse than Fortnite Leon, so he's gonna go like, I'm not sure. Yeah, this is, it feels disingenuous, but like, even if though this is the worst version, I know what, he's going here. Yeah, I'm sorry. Even though this is the worst version of the canon Leon, I don't think he's as bad as, you know, the other live action movie Leon, which is Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Again, this looks nothing like, you know, the game Leon, obviously. Character wise, if I look at like from like a separate way of like a retelling of Resident Evil 2, and I basically imagine is like a very separate version of Leon, he was okay, I guess. Like, no one in the movie was really, you know, good, well written. The movie itself was like not good. So I'm not sure if he'd definitely have to go here, like somewhere either here or here. Not really sure. Whatever. You're gonna go here. Yeah, I guess so. That's it. That's the definitive tier list of Leon. Oh my god. If you like disagree with anything, let me know down in the comments. Although I'm just gonna have to tell you right now that if you disagree, you are wrong, because this is the definite like tier list of Leon. If like this is like ontologically the list of Leon. It feels strange to have so many versions of Leon in E. Like E is the tier with the largest amount of Leons, which you know. I say I love the character and I put a lot of versions of him in the E in the last tier. That's not my fault though, that's the fault of the writers, because they just do not understand the character as much as I do. And if you disagree, you also do not understand the character as much as I do. So yeah, this has been the official tier list of Leon S. Kennedy. If you made it this far, you might as well like the video, because you know, why wouldn't you, you know, and subscribe, because again, why wouldn't you? And yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time.